This is the front man speaking. In the previous video, we explored the Taewon Singles Inferno video game with respect to his final boss, Jian. In this video, we'll continue to explore the Taewon narrative from the Jian perspective and see if it holds up under the weight of scrutiny. Here are a few more complaints Jian had about her one and only suitor.
같이 가야 되는 순간에서 저를 신경 쓰지 않고 먼저 간다든지.
Complaint number 1. He walks on ahead of her instead of walking alongside her.
스케이트 탈 때도 저를 신경 쓰지 않고 그냥 혼자 막 논다든지.
Complaint number 2. He goes off and does his own thing instead of tending to her and only her. And here's a complaint made by Jian's panel of minions after watching another one of the couple's interactions.
약간 아쉬운 거 있어? 열애를 보내면서.
초콜릿 3개 넣은 거.
아,
사실 너한테만 넣으려고 그랬었는데.
진짜? 난 누구 나갔는지 알아?
아니?
안 궁금해?
안 궁금해.
진짜? 안 궁금해?
나는 너가 누구 넣었는지도 안 궁금하고 나한테 누가 줬는지도 안 궁금해. 난 그런 거 궁금해하지 않는 성격이라서.
그래. 안 궁금해? 진짜?
근데 저기 여자 입장에서 궁금해 해줬으면 하잖아요.
지금 그거예요.
네.
지현 씨 입장에서는 궁금해하지 않는 것도 좀
네.
의아한 것 같아요.
왜 안 궁금하지?
나한테 관심이 있으면 내가 누구한테 넣었는지 궁금해야 되는데.
그리고 궁금해 줬으면 좋겠고.
네.
Complaint number 3. He should be curious about who she's interested in. We'll stop there for now and subject those complaints to the aforementioned scrutiny. And with that, we begin the final installment of The Defense of Taewon. Complaint number 1. He walks on ahead instead of walking side by side.
같이 가야 되는 순간에서 저를 신경 쓰지 않고 먼저 간다든지.
Okay. Credit to the editors for the receipt they provided. Clearly he did what she said he did. But this isn't necessarily a big deal. Nor is it really a red flag of any kind. Unless, of course, he was made aware of it and continued to do so.
Harry, stop that. We gotta get a piece of the asteroid like we came for it and cut that out. It disturbs me. Now, don't do that behind my back like that.
I'm not doing it.
Now cut it out.
Okay, I'm just walking.
But Taewon wasn't made aware of it. Jian simply observed it, noted it, and banked it until it was time for her to publicly air her laundry list of grievances.
약간 이러면서 뭔가 그런 거에 대한 헷갈림이 사실은 어제도 있었던 것 같아요. 같이 가야 되는 순간에서 저를 신경 쓰지 않고 먼저 간다든지.
Interestingly, he wasn't the only one who was guilty of this infraction. Observe.
같이 좀 가. 같이 좀 가. 이적기적하지 말고.
제가.
같이.
이게 같이 밟아줘 가야 된다.
오.
입력 완료.
But this was handled decidedly differently. In Dongho's case, it was called out by Arin in real time,
같이 좀 가.
and it turned into what was perceived as a charming moment. But Jian said nothing, at least not to Taewon's face. She waited until interview time and presented it together with a list of the rest of his flaws.
자꾸 자기 얘기만 하는 것 같아.
And there was a presentation about him that she gave behind his back. So as to the charge that he walks on ahead of her instead of walking side by side with her, guilty, but of something that really wasn't a crime. Complaint number 2. He goes off and does his own thing. Here's another item on the she said list. And the only receipt provided by producers was this one incident where he went off and skated. But once again, you have to question the egregiousness of this transgression. What was so bad about taking the time to enjoy an empty ice rink? Was Jiyeon hoping for a date like this?
You're a pretty good skater, aren't you? You know, like I was saying before on the way over here, you know, fight used to be tossing me, but no more, you know? See, all I wanted to do out of fight was prove I was no bum, that I had the stuff to make a good pro, you know?
This type of behavior on Taewon's part is something ingrained in male DNA. Whether it's a professional stand-up comedian looking for an advantage,
because I knew who he was, I knew that he was probably gonna pull like the whole, meet me at the Comedy Store in his place of power. So I refused that for several months.
She didn't come to the store for months.
You kept saying, "Meet me at the come to the
Yeah.
store."
Yeah. To show them, so I can show.
or a geek on an American reality show looking to showcase a different side of himself,
Now it's my turn to bring Mindy into my world. Here is a little bit of what I like to do, and I hope that you enjoy this.
I loved seeing Richard sitting there at the piano. I mean, he just totally seemed like a different person. I think
or a
Richard's
tactical dating strategist on a Korean dating show thinking he was looking like a badass.
간다 간다.
Males like to show off what they think they're good at.
잘 타는데?
맨날 해본 사람 같아.
근데 엄청 잘 타시는 것 같진 않아요.
And this behavior is not even limited to human beings.
Proudly displaying their 200 tail feathers, he's been strutting all morning. To anyone who will pay attention.
이제 뭔가 느낌을 알겠어 이제.
느낌 알겠어? 스케이트 탈 때도 저를 신경 쓰지 않고
She thought he was trying to ignore her,
본다든지.
but like other males in the animal kingdom, maybe he did it in an effort to try to woo her. As to the charge that he likes to do his own thing, guilty of being male in the animal kingdom. Complaint number 3. If he's interested in her, he should be curious about who she's interested in.
나는 너가 누구 나오는지도 안
Really?
궁금하고 나한테 누가 줬는지도 안 궁금해.
While it is arguable that a lot of folks are curious about who their object of affection may like, that tends to be the province of insecure people
I would never want to belong to any club that would have someone like me for a member.
or jealous people.
I don't remember you ever bringing me dinner.
Or possessive people.
Open the door.
No.
Why'd you do it, huh?
But the type of people who are not curious about such matters are generally confident people.
You were tempted to ask me out for dinner.
Or secure people.
I love you.
I know.
Or altruistic people. Especially those with a healthy sense of egalitarianism.
Now what are you gonna do about it?
Nothing. I just wanted you to face me so she could get behind you.
Now then, in a worst case scenario, indifference could be an indicator that the guy is just not that into her and will be content to move on if she moves on.
I don't think we should see each other anymore.
Oh, that's okay.
What?
No, it's fine. No problem. I'll meet somebody else.
But generally speaking, the reason behind not caring about who else a girl might like is anchored in positive qualities. But another angle to explore here is this. Once again, Taewon was not the only one on the island who was guilty of this particular sin. Taeo is also apparently not interested in knowing who's interested in him.
그래도 알아보고 싶은 사람 좀 어때? 새로 오늘 여자분 새로 봤잖아 다.
없어. 난 내가 누가 나한테 줬는지 궁금하지 않아. 세 개 받았는데 내가 호감 있는 사람 중요하지.
역시 태우다워. 이제 널 좀 알 것 같아.
내가 좀 알 것 같아. 어떤데?
그럼 뭐 자기 일 아니면 관심 없고.
Isn't that a positive trait? Especially when you're already interested in someone. I mean, if you liked someone, would you want them to be trying to figure out who else liked them? Take Audien, for instance.
저는 오늘 한 명. 와, 멋있다.
She only had eyes for one. It's not like she was interested in knowing what other guys may be interested in her.
우선 남자분들이 5분이셨기 때문에 한 분 빼고 다 주셨겠구나라는 생각을 했고 한 분씩 출연해보자라고 생각을 했던 것 같아요. 그러면 전 한 분씩 준서 씨? 저를 뽑으셨는지 아니면 대답 안 하셔도 되고 뽑으셨던 이유가 뭔지.
안 뽑았는데.
아 그러면 아니 한 분씩 물어보라.
너무 아파. 너무 아파. 내가 더 아파.
아니야 괜찮아. 아니야 나 괜찮아 왜 이래.
Okay, bad example. Let's stick with Teo. Teo likes a girl. He's hoping she likes him back. And during this courtship period, he's not even interested in knowing what his other options are. If such a thing is bad for anyone, it's bad for him, not the girl. I know what you're thinking, especially if you're a Taewon hater. The issue the panel had was not that Taewon wasn't curious about who may be interested in him.
나한테 관심이
The
있으면
issue
내가
was that he
누구한테
wasn't
너무
curious
궁금해서
about who his girl
궁금해줬으면
may be
좋겠고.
interested in. And Teo didn't expressly state this, at least not in the clip we saw.
누가 나한테 줬는지 궁금하지 않아.
But listen to what Xian confided in Audien about him.
자, 태호는 나한테 부담을 하나도 안 줘. 그래. 내가 데이트를 어떻게 했는지도 안 물어보고 누구한테 호감이 있는지 안 물어보고 나는 너가 좋은데 너는 어때? 라는 그런 게 없어. 그거 살짝 그런 거 받으면 좀 부담스러울 수 있잖아. 확 이럴 수도 있잖아. 할 수 있는데 걔는 그런 게 없고 그냥 딱 자기 마음만 전달해. 난 네가 좋아. 난 너야. 끝. 그냥 끝이야. 좀 멋있어. 그런 부분이 좀 멋있는 것 같아. 가로치고 너가 누구든 상관없어 이거잖아. 내가 너가 좋으니까. 되게 그냥 나를 항상 안심시켜주려고 하는 것 같아.
Apparently, he neither cares about who likes him or who else she might like. On this matter, he and Taewon share the exact same philosophy, but they didn't get the same exact treatment.
좀 멋있어. 그런 부분이 좀 멋있는 것 같아. 가로치고 너가 누구든 상관없어 이거잖아. 내가 너가 좋으니까. 안 궁금해?
나는 너가 누구 나오는지도 안 궁금하고 나한테 누가 줬는지도 안 궁금해. 난 그런 거 궁금해하지 않는 성격이라서.
그래. 안 궁금해? 오 진짜? 신기하네.
신기하네.
진짜 신기하다.
와. 근데 저기 여자 입장에서 궁금해해줬으면 하잖아요.
지금 그거예요.
네.
지현 씨 입장에서는 궁금해하지 않는 것도 좀
네.
의아한 것 같아요.
왜 안 궁금하지?
나한테 관심이 있으면 내가 누구한테 넣는지 궁금해야 되는데.
그리고 궁금해줬으면 좋겠고.
신기하네.
Interesting. That seems to be a consistent theme in these Taewon defense videos. When Taewon does something, he's ridiculed or lambasted.
나한테 누가 줬는지도 안 궁금해.
When others do the exact same thing,
난 내가 누가 나한테 줬는지 궁금하지 않아.
they're praised or it's ignored. So as to the charge that he should be more curious about who she's curious about, not guilty. In fact, according to some of the ladies,
좀 멋있어. 그런 부분이 좀 멋있는 것 같아.
finally, let's address another moment that added to the caricature of Taewon's buffoonery. Like the other of his foibles that the editors included in the show, this too was funny. Unlike the smooth tactician Jung-soo, he wasn't able to pop the cork quietly. But neither was Dongho. But when Dongho poured the champagne, he didn't do this. But if you take a step back from the entertainment value of that classic Taewon moment, you can examine the scene and determine why it happened. Again, here's Dongho. His core was steady. But then again, so was Arin's glass. In Taewon's moment, on the other hand, pay attention to Jiyeon's glass. The champagne didn't spill because Taewon jerked away the bottle. It spilled because Jiyeon jerked away the glass. At face value, thanks to the presentation provided by producers and editors, Taewon was a flawed contestant. He wasn't as alpha as Junso. He wasn't as smooth as Jongsu. He wasn't as generous as Tae-oh. He wasn't as adorable as Dong. And he wasn't as NPC as Jong. According to the narrative, Taewon was at the bottom of the Bachelor list. But over the course of 5 videos, we did a deep dive into this. We examined the roles played by the producers, the editors, and the panel, all of which helped shape the Taewon caricature. And we saw and heard from the damsel in distress who was stuck with this narcissistic buffoon. She was the catch who was stuck with a clown. And she was a direct victim of her suitor's flaws. I'm not suggesting that everyone should switch teams, but I do think folks should at least try to see Taewon in a different light. They should consider who the storytellers are and what the stories are that they're telling. But hey, in the end, this is a reality show. The producers, the panel, and the principals were all doing what they were supposed to do. And during my first watch, I was of a certain mind. I played into the narratives the show wove. It wasn't until subsequent viewings that I personally started seeing Taewon in a totally different light.
오, 좋아. 저 감사합니다.
In this, the final installment of In Defense of Taewon, I'll give the panel the final word.
태원 씨한테 사과해야겠네 이거. 진짜.
미안해요.
If you enjoyed this video, hit like. If you enjoyed the content, hit subscribe. And until the next one, Frontman out.